Are you guys feeling a ramp up? Are these guys being used in ways they've never been used before?
We're highly in demand. We're getting after it.
This year, these elite units have ramped up drug interdictions in the Pacific and the Caribbean.
Oh, that's real. Checking that right there. Checking this. He already checked that one. That's good. They're professionals at putting things in their butt. You check deep inside of that thing. The Wall Street Journal, why Trump is relying on Coast Guard Special Forces for key missions. First of all, let's clarify something. Coast Guard doesn't really, as far as I'm aware, have special forces. Okay, they have MSRT, which is like their Maritime Special Response Team, which is like super high-speed SWAT boat people. I don't even think the Wall Street Journal knows what they're talking about.
Put it across, push across.
Living, dude. Oh my God, what is this bullshit? Dude, did we just see the worst training ever? I'm the bad guy right now. Is that a whole left side of someone's body? Bang, 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 bang. Got Nikko immediately crashing out. I'm losing my mind. For anybody wondering if they want to join the Coast Guard, I think the Coast Guard's a great branch. You'll do really good in the civilian sector. It's a really chill lifestyle, and they have great training. Okay. Drop the cocaine.
We're getting a very close-up look at these Coast Guard Specialized Forces training to board and take over a vessel.
Shelby, I need you to critique them. Shelby's impressed. Nikko is not.
Coast Guard Specialized Forces
Dark, I
training
appreciate
to
you.
board and take over a vessel. It's something they've been doing a lot of these days. And what's unique about the Coast Guard is they are both a military service and a law enforcement agency. So they have unique authority to do these kinds of missions on the high seas.
So the reason I do recognize the Coast Guard heavily is Coast Guard has a very particular asset, which is those joint powers. So the reason joint powers are very awesome in the military is it allows you to liaison, connect, and do so many other things that the rest of the military, let alone law enforcement independently, cannot do. As a counterintelligence agent, we were allowed to do a lot of cool and not typical things because we have international and domestic powers. And the Coast Guard is another agency that has different components that are able to do it, as well as, I'm trying to make sure I cover everybody, the Coast Guard can do stuff like that. Army CI can do stuff like that. Air Force OSI can do stuff like that. If you guys are looking for cool, unconventional type of military stuff you could do, those are some really cool things. If you go hardcore and actually get into those units or MOSs, then yeah.
So they have unique authority to do these kinds of missions on the high seas.
On the high seas. The ocean's on drugs.
Special forces run through drill after drill in this so-called ship-in-a-box before they're deployed. While the units have always trained for high-stakes missions, they're being used by the Trump administration at an unprecedented pace and scale.
Are you guys feeling a ramp up? Are these guys being used in ways they've never been used before?
Just like the rest of the Coast.
Guy? Sir Guy, we need you now. What movie is that where the dude's name is Guy? Free Guy, yeah. AK Gaming with the resub for 6 months, half year. Let's go. Yeah, MSRT, MSRT are recognized by SOF. They are? I don't know why I refuse to believe that. I mean, if they are, great. I'm not SOF in any way, shape, or form, so I should just shut the fuck up.
Feeling a ramp up? Are these guys being used in ways they've never been
They look
used
soft.
before?
Just like the rest of the Coast Guard, we're surging tactical operators to get after missions in support of the nation. We're highly in demand. We're getting after it.
This year, these elite units have ramped up drug interdictions in the Pacific and the Caribbean.
Oh, that's real. Dude, hey, spread your cheeks, pull his pin. Checking that right there. Checking this. He already checked that one. That's good. They're professionals at putting things in their butt. You check deep inside of that thing. You gotta get in that shit. You gotta, he had a gun in his ass.
They've been tackling illegal immigration on the water, including along the Rio Grande, and they've been leading seizures of oil tankers alongside other special forces units.
You want to know what they're actually doing? Bro, do you want me to put y'all on game right now? The reason counterintelligence agents are utilized is so that way if a specific entity we are liaisoning with does not have international powers or domestic powers, we conduct the operation, but they do the whole operation. We say we're doing all of it, but we're not. We're only doing a fucking fraction of it. So probably what they're going to do is, because the Coast Guard has those particular powers we're talking about, the Coast Guard's going to show up, but like they just said, other special operations forces, they're probably going to be linking up with agency entities or linking up with, like, for example, like Delta or like SAS or like DevGru, so SEAL Team 6 or something like that. But then they're only going to say the Coast Guard was there. Why? It's their operation. They have the power.
And they've been leading seizures of oil tankers alongside other special forces units.
Yeah, it shakes responsibility.
Now, the Coast Guard is creating its own deployable specialized forces command.
Hold on. I might crash out again. Hold up. Did he just try and do a cool thing for the camera? Bro, am I a piece of shit? They don't look like soft. Dude, I'm such a stereotyper right now. Maybe it's just a Coast Guard thing. I'm trying to see what he's doing with the gun.
Now, the Coast Guard is creating its own.
What was that? He was like, I'm going to replay it a second. He was like this. What are you doing? Watch. I swear to God, I'm not f***ing around. He's trying to impress Shelby. Watch.
Now, the Coast Guard is creating its own.
What the f*** is that? Is that a special forces thing?
What does that mean for these guys, these specialized forces who train to do this day in and
They are
day
cool
out?
though. They
This
got their
deployable
boxes.
Specialized Forces Command is going to give our operators better command and control while they're here and at sea. It's also going to help make that connective tissue with the Department of War so that we can get after the nation's objectives just more efficiently and more effectively.
Officials say the Coast Guard is in high demand because it has law enforcement authority under Title 14 of the U.S. Code.
Okay, so this is something I am familiar with. So this is the thing about counterintelligence that's really cool, is you're not exactly a law enforcement entity, right? But under certain articles and titles, you have law enforcement capabilities at particular times. And then we also charge people under UCMJ and United States Code. And so the Coast Guard has these abilities too with special powers. And this is something the military overall doesn't really talk about. Too complicated? Guess what? That's by design, so you don't understand. You don't know where that line's at.
That means it can make arrests, conduct seizures, and carry out actions that other branches of the military can't.
Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what we've been talking about.
The Coast Guard is a military service with law enforcement authority.
Yet we're the only military service with domestic law enforcement authority. That's what Title 14 gives us. So we have the ability to board any vessel that the United States Coast Guard needs to board. And we have teams that are trained and capable of doing that.
Once again, guys, in case you don't know, he said domestic, right? Domestic, United States territories. International, everything outside of the United States, right? Like a police officer can't go arrest somebody in the Philippines because he only has domestic powers inside of his county or whatever jurisdiction he's in. So that branch, yes, has domestic powers, but then they also go and deploy internationally. I'm not wording this the best, but I'm just trying to make it super broad, right? And then, like I said, if you guys think stuff like that is really cool, I highly encourage you guys to check out OSI, because the Air Force has capabilities like that. They have domestic and international. Army counterintelligence at certain times. I see a lot of people getting it twisted in my comments. Counterintelligence has the opportunity to do really high-speed things. Majority of the time, if you don't get high speed or try and do crazy stuff or go to schools, you're just going to be a paper pusher.
As the U.S. does more of these boardings of all kinds of vessels, are there concerns
After
that
we took
the
Maduro's
people aboard the vessels
oil, we was like, damn, we get the
eventually
money.
Cover me. That's always a concern that we have for our members. That's why we train to the level that we do.
Bro, this boat shit is so hard. I give people kudos who can do the VBSS shit because I've done training like this once or twice, like ever. Bro, let me know down below in the comments if this has ever happened to you. The thing that sucks about doing boat shit, everything is metal and hard and thick and wet.
Pause.
The amount of times I've smashed my fingers on things and my funny bone, I'm done. I've tried coming into a room and smash my elbow and I'm like, I'm fucking done. Done. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I've seen people try to kick doors on boats. Guess what? They're made of metal. You will snap your ankle. Don't do it.
So this is Mark 18. This is the rifle we use during CQC. It's like our primary. When you're on target, you'll flip it to fire. You'll unload a couple rounds, and then you can flip it back to safe.
All right.
Is that a peck or they got a...
So flip it off safe. There you go.
These boys is getting these are the angles, right? Why would they do this? I mean, I know this is just like training, but why would you M-lock a Picatinny on this? Bro, you're soft. You have a better budget, man. Damn.
Feet up.
So flip it off safe. There you go. So now you're on fire.
Oh my, are you guys okay?
Is everyone
During
dead? Because
drills,
I like
the forces
full out of
use
it.
these real rifles, Mark 18s, loaded with non-lethal rounds.
Wow.
Wow, I'm against guns, but that was fun and shit. Why is the laser on? Look at him. He's like, yeah, get it, girl.
The Coast Guard can use force to compel compliance, and they use lethal force only in self-defense.
So he had a gun.
Yeah, so what you just saw here was a dynamic room clear with multiple potential threats, and our operators had to make a rapid split-second decision on whether or not there was a deadly force situation.
You call it a shoot, no shoot decision.
Absolutely.
So in front of you have 3 different precision rifles that a gunner can choose from depending.
Hold on, let's see what they kind of got on that table. Right
Whether
there,
or not
with
there
the
was
with the
a
gunny
deadly
oneys.
force.
So in front of you have 3 different.
We got the M107, 240 Bravo. This just looks like some type of LPVO.
Precision rifles that a gunner can choose from depending on what he's doing. The big one here, the Barrett M107. It's 50 cal, a lot of stopping power. It will.
What?
The Barrett M107.
This is the M240. What are you talking about? They showed the wrong gun. This is the 50 right here. This is the M240. Wait, slow down. I think it's the news outlet that showed the wrong clip. I don't think the Coast Guard dude did it. Imagine the actual like special forces dude wrong. He's like, this is a grenade launcher, but it's also AK-47. Yeah, he's talking about he's touching it.
50 cal, a lot of stopping power. It will punch.
Yeah, he's
through
talking
anything.
about it.
Our primary target is engines.
Dude,
We want
aerial
to stop
shooting
the
has
vessel
gotta be that
as quickly
shit.
as possible without injuring the persons on.
Yo, I'm learning something new right now. I was in a sniper section at one point in my life, hence why I hate the M107. What kind of fucking laser system will hold zero with the M107? Because it's got crazy recoil. In case you guys don't know, if your laser system doesn't match the caliber that you're shooting, in simple terms, it will actually cause it and knock around the system on the inside to get off of zero. I don't know what kind of laser system holds zero for the 50.
As quickly as possible without injuring the persons on board. We have a number of tactics to try to get the vessel to stop. The first one that we're always going to use is the warning shots. We don't want to be firing at a vessel that might stop if they see a weapon fired in front of them.
Last year, as the Department of Defense drew criticism for blowing up alleged tugboats, the Coast Guard seized a record.
I love that we're blowing up boats. I think it's awesome.
As missions ramp up, the Coast Guard's special forces are increasingly working alongside other special forces across the military. While it's playing a growing
Looked like
role
an old
in
school
national
pack. No, it was
security
wider.
missions,
It was
its
wider
leaders
than
say
the
service
old school
is in
black pack.
desperate need of more
And it wasn't
people
as long.
and resources.
Despite the mission's success and great work of our people, the Coast Guard is in a severe readiness crisis that has been
Laser
decades
guided
in the
50
making.
cal rounds. That would
Today,
be
our Coast Guard is less ready than at any other time since the end of World War II 80 years ago.
That is
To help
super
address
true.
that problem, the Coast Guard received an unprecedented $25 billion.
The Coast Guard is severely underprepared. They have great training. The problem with the Coast Guard is that they don't have good ad spend. Bro, Coast Guard, go out there and make a ass commercial. Even though I make fun of the Coast Guard in all my skits, the Coast Guard is a crazy good branch. If you want to join the FBI, but you want to go into the military first, I would recommend either the Army, the Air Force, or the Coast Guard. I think the Coast Guard is a great one because you learn to have those different types of law enforcement and military powers. The Coast Guard is extremely slept on.
$1 billion infusion from the One Big Beautiful Bill last year. That money will be used to help the Coast Guard enhance.
Dude, we gotta
its
send half of that to
specialized
Israel
teams, buy
right
more
now.
ships and helicopters, and enable the U.S. to project power around the world.
We are going to be able to be in the Arctic at a level that we haven't been. The Arctic is opening up. Ice has receded. We're seeing that competitors are in the Arctic, and the Coast Guard needs to be there.
I don't give
to
a
project
about no
presence
ice.
into that space to make sure that we can safeguard our national interests.
Can we even take Antarctica? I thought you can't. I don't want to give a fuck about no ice. That shit gonna melt anyways, man. Get your head out your ass. We're gonna conquer this Iceland, and then it's gonna melt. And then we're gonna have no land. We're just gonna have water of nothing.
To make sure that we can safeguard our national interests.
Now we're doing too much crazy shit in the Arctic.
I like to think of this
In a
like
Nike
if
tech?
you're playing football we're going and we are playing defense.
This has to be because of the Venezuela. I feel like President Trump did not say this, but like, you know, whatever. Like I said, I think Coast Guard's a great branch. I think we should give the Coast Guard a shot. What do we think, chat? I need to see more of this Coast Guard Special Forces training. Maybe this will kind of help clear some stuff up. So Coast Guard Special Operations from General Discharge. MSRT is obviously the most recognized one.
Driving a submarine full of
MSRT.
illegal drugs and hoping to smuggle them into the United States? Not with MSRT around, you won't. Unless you want a team of MSRT operators boarding your vessel and taking you to jail. As the Coast Guard's only offensively oriented counterterrorism team, Coast Guard Maritime Safety Response
Offense is
teams
hot.
are the first.
We like offense. Defense is gay.
The Coast Guard Maritime Safety and Security teams might only be one letter and word away from their MSRT counterparts, but that slight difference means a hell of a lot. Instead of being a reactive counterterrorism unit like the MSRT, MSSTs are a proactive anti-terrorism unit which prevents and defends against attacks. In other words, they're more protective than they are offensive.
Defense now? What the f***? What are we talking about?
In a nutshell, MSSTs provide waterborne security and serve as a counterterrorism force protection for domestic and international waterways.
So y'all are
They're
security
both
for
units that
like
are used to
Air Force security forces. That's what I'm getting. Tactical law enforcement teams.
If you're a modern-day pirate, you wouldn't want to run into a Coast Guard TACLIT. Coast Guard Tactical Law Enforcement Teams, referred to as TACLITs in short, are a specialized force that carries out anti-piracy, maritime interdiction, security, and counter-narcotics operations. For example, when there are drug smugglers trying to get drugs in the country, you can bet your ass that TACLIT teams will be there trying to stop them.
Bro, ain't this the same shit you just said MSRT was doing? Next.
Port security units.
Bro, do not tell me you're out here protecting boats and that's special operations, bro. If somebody fucking hits me with that, I'm gonna freak out. I might throw up.
If you want to be a reservist in the Coast Guard, but still have a pretty cool job, port security units might be the career for you. Staffed primarily with reservists, PSUs are the Coast Guard's expeditionary forces that provide security and force protection to forward deployed base camps and ports around the world. While they usually operate in United States waters under the Coast Guard's command, they can be quickly called upon elsewhere by the DoD's request. And they're quick at it, too. PSUs can deploy within 96 hours and establish
96 hours? Jesus Christ. We'll be there in 15 days. What?